One of the problems I'm regularly asked about with using QGIS is how to decide whether some geography is inside some other geography. And what you're looking at here is a classic example of that problem. I have laid down two sets of data. I've laid down the United States track data, which is enormous. We're talking hundreds of thousands. That's why you can't see them here, because all the borders of them are filling the map. And on top of it, I've laid the counties of the state of Utah. So my real question is, please could I just take out and use only the tracts for the state of Utah? So I want to know which tracts fall within Utah. So let's first understand why I want to do that. And that's pretty obvious. It's a very simple answer. Let me show you. If I just try and magnify the area where I think Utah is, which is sort of down in this area of the United States here. So all I've done is left click, hold my finger down and drag to draw a little square like that. You watch. There we go. Now if I try to show the whole map again, you see how long it takes to draw this. See that? When you have hundreds of thousands of little shapes, the system starts to drag. It starts to take time to show them. So let's go back to our problem of trying to just take out the tracts that fall into the state of Utah. And here, whoops, we'll just go backwards there. This little arrow here, this is a really good tool. If you accidentally magnify in the wrong way, if you hit this, it'll go back to your previous magnification. So I'm just going to grab this again, grab this and just slide it down. Now just so people can see, I'm just going to change the colour of counties. I can see, but it's not really helpful for others. I'm just going to change this to something nice and bright. Oh, we won't use that tool, we'll just use the edge here, go for red. Okay, there you go. So you can see Utah sitting here, and if I switch it off, you can see underneath it will be the tracks. There you go. Can you see the tracks? Back on Utah, tracks. So my question is, which of these tracts fall inside the boundaries of the counties? Like that. So the first thing I do is I move the counties below the tracks. So now we are overlaid here. I can switch the tracks off and see the counties. There they are. So I can see them. What I probably should do is actually turn the tracts with a little bit of transparency so you can see them. My starting point with transparency is 50%. Like that. And there you go. So now what you're doing is you're looking through the tracks on top at the underlying counties. My question is, the problem at hand is I just want to extract the tracts that fall inside these counties. A very simple problem. What you do is you go Vector, Spatial Query. Here it is here. And a little dialog box pops up. Here it is here. And the question is, select source features from tracts that are within counties. So how I work with this is I actually read it like a sentence, because you can get this upside down. You know, you could do it the other way up. But if you select source features from tracts that are within counties, press apply. Like this. It'll take a while because it's going through hundreds of thousands of tracks and testing each one against the underlying against the underlying counties. And sometimes, actually, you can see now, I only have a little Mac. Do you notice how it looks like it's failed? See this here? It sort of sounds like it's failed and it's looking stationary. Just sit still and wait. Because depending on the size of the memory of your computer, it will take time to do, and it will sit there and think about it for a while. So don't be impatient. In fact, sometimes this is a chance to go and make a cup of tea. Good news, it's had a go. and it started to do it, which is great. If you turn the counties off, you will see what it's achieved. Now, do you notice the ones inside have gone yellow? See that? But that's not all, because you wanted the ones touching, so we've made a mistake. Let's have another go. First button to know is this one here. That deselects all the features that we had. So there we go. Notice the little bit of yellow has now disappeared. So you saw that spatial query, as we did, didn't give us the right answer. So there are many other ways you can select features on a map. Spatial query, I'll show you with a different set of data what you can use to select. It's much better for selecting dots and things like that. In fact, we'll do one more spatial query. Let me show you one more while we're doing it. Tracks. Let's say we want anything that intersects with counties. This will give us a slight variant on the theme. We'll show you this. So we'll just let this run for a little minute or two, and you can see what tracks it produces when we say intersects. Intersects means, for this spatial query system, any tract that has any of its part within the counties. Now again, I'm going to leave this run so people can see that it takes time. I regularly get grad students say to me, oh look, my QGIS seems to be broken. It just sits there with a little moving wheel and isn't doing anything. That is dependent upon the amount of memory you have in your computer and the speed of it and things. There we go. I should stop talking now. Now you can see that it's selected. I'll just turn the counties off for a moment so you can see. See these yellow ones here? It is now selected all of the tracks that are within, but also all that are just touching as well, counties. So spatial query is really good like that. You can do all sorts of things. I'm going to show you one more way to do this, that because Utah is sort of linear in shape, there's a very easy way to pick just the tracks that are inside the Utah boundaries. So here is the third way that you can select features, and this is the by hand way. There's this little icon here, and if you go select by polygon, you can actually draw a shape by hand. I'm going to click here in this corner, I'm going to click in this edge here, then the polygon's coming down here, click here, click here, click. Notice I'm just inside the edge, so it only picks up in the edge. Click in this corner, then I go back up next to this one, and I right click and it will close it, and there we go. If I turn off the counties, you'll see that they are, oops daisy. You see what I made the mistake of there? Do you notice I had the counties highlighted? So it has selected features from the highlighted one, which is not what we wanted. We wanted the tracks. How did I tell? When I hide this, you notice none of the tracks are yellow. The yellowness is on the counties. I'll turn the tracks off for a moment. You can see them. There they are there. So we don't want that. So we'll do that again. So we'll clear off those selection. We'll make sure we highlight the tracks. Then we'll pick up the select by polygon again. And here we go. Click the edges again like this. And then you right click to close the shape like that, and bingo, except for one. It's picked up one extra one here. Let's just turn that off. There you go, you can see the yellow now. It's just picked up this extra one here. You can often, and I've forgotten what you do, I think you can just deselect it by clicking on selected features. And if you hold the shift button down, I think that's the negative, so that will deselect it. Let's just try. If we get it wrong, we'll redo it. It selected it. Let's just experiment. Yes, must be the control maybe. Anyway, let's just do it again while we're here. Clear all the selections. There we go. Turn on the county so I know where to go. We select by polygon, and off we go again. looking good. We turn off the counties so we can check, and notice the yellow is now all of the tracts within the Utah state. So now what we want to do is we want to turn those selected features into their own little unique shapefile set. So that's easy. Go back to the tracks, right click, and go Save As. Check that it's an Esri shapefile. Then you go Save As. Now we're going to save this as Utah only. Save. Now we need to, this is the critical one here, and I always forget to do this, it's always a mistake I make in life. Make sure you click this. So only those tracks that we have selected, the ones that now appear yellow, only those will be saved into our new layer. And I always add the layer like this, then say OK. It'll take a minute or two because it's got hundreds of thousands of tracks to go through to pick them out. So we just let it think for a bit. Same again. Don't panic. See up here it says not respond. Oh, up there it said no, not responding. Don't worry, it will in the end. And bingo, look at that. We now have the Utah only in pink. What we can do now is to make everything work faster, we can remove the enormous data set. So you right click and remove. Just wants to double check we are. Please be aware, removing doesn't mean it deletes your original data file, it just removes it from your map at the moment. So we remove it, and there we go. We now have just the tracts from Utah. Now notice we've missed one down here, see that? We'd have to do this all again, just sort that one out. I'll just magnify it up because you might not see. If I turn on the counties below, you'll see it as the little red one here. We've missed one tract, which so we'd redo this to fix that up. But you can now see what you can do to speed the whole process up. Notice how quickly that... actually, I'll just go back for a minute. You watch when I go like this. Watch how fast it now redraws on your screen. See that? Instantaneous. So that's the way you constrain data down to just the part you want to see.